So this is what I picked up in Northumberland, among other things, a few weeks ago, and I finally got around to doing a post on it. These are two French medical books dated 1863 and 1891. And the 1863 one is actually a journal, a collection of journal for 1963, volume 17 to 18 of l'Union Médicale, the medical union. And this one is Clinique Thérapeutique, Dujardin Beaumetz. And, you know, I just love those books. They're just beautiful. And actually, somebody's really used that. It's got like pencil marks in it and that sort of thing. And look at that one. And these are all medical journals. Now, you may think, what would I want to do with French books? But as I mentioned in some post a long time ago, I was lucky to have spent primary school years in France, in a tiny French school where I learned French grammar and the 3 R's very, very thoroughly before returning to the UK. And by the time I returned to the UK, I couldn't stand schooling, so I got homeschooled in my secondary years. So that's what happened. So whilst my French vocabulary is limited, and I need to make a separate post on this because I think the French language is being thoroughly assaulted as well, like the English. My French grammar is really good. But 1863, you think, how would I understand the words if my vocabulary is limited? Because I have a surprise. This is a beautiful 1875 French dictionary. Now, French people, you need to get hold of your dictionaries. And this is 1875. So I have the right era of dictionary for those medical books. So I can actually learn those medical books and read them because the grammar is grammar that I learned. I'm struggling with modern French grammar, but that's going to be the topic of a different post. I actually struggle with modern French books. And I don't know whether it's the grammar or something has really changed in the French language. But anyway, I digress. That's for something else. So that's not a problem. And just as a bit of a funny experiment, I thought, oh, what about looking at the word psychology in this book? It's 1875. So if you've watched my post, which is pinned on the original meaning of psychology using my, beautiful English dictionaries, I thought, well, let's see what the French are saying. And you'll be amazed because it's the same thing. So it's definitely correct. The Germans came along, Wilhelm Wundt came along in 1879 and totally changed the course of our civilization, along with a couple of others, by completely eradicating the soul from humanity, or declaring that the soul did not exist and it was all the brain, which obviously a piece of meat, I haven't got my brain's over there on a table, my brain prop, a piece of meat that just doesn't do the thinking. Human soul does. Well, you and I do. Our brain is ours and is definitely part of the central nervous system, but a piece of meat like that weighs about 1 kilogram, no, it doesn't do the thinking. Anyway, I'm going to read it. The definition is great. It is in French. I will translate and I will put a photo so you can see for yourself what it is that I said, and then you're welcome to use Google Translate to make sure that I didn't give you any sort of false definitions. But here you go. It says psychologie. And it says, feminine name obviously, étude que l'on fait du moral et de l'intelligence, sans prendre en considération les parties qui en sont les organes. So this is exactly saying the same thing that I also showed you in the Encyclopedia Britannica. This is my 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica. So I will translate now. It says study of moral and intelligence without taking consideration of the organic parts, so as in the organs. So it's not related to organs, right? We're talking about intelligence and morality, which is very much a spiritual thing. But listen to the final line, which matches the other dictionaries. La psychologie est la science de l'âme. Psychology is the science of the soul. Isn't that brilliant? So it's exactly like we have in our British dictionaries, English dictionaries, as well as the Webster's dictionaries of that era. It was the study of the soul. And that's what psychology was for a long, long time before this whole madness happened at the end of the 18th century for population control, which changed everything to the brain. And we have all psychiatric nonsense that's going on right now, and our social sciences that have gone nutty. But here we go. Even the French agreed. And it'll be interesting if you're German or Italian or Spanish and you happen to see this post. It will be great if you actually had, if you actually possess or own any dictionaries of, you know, the 1800 in either German, Italian or Spanish. And it'd be very interesting to know what is the definition of psychology in your dictionaries. I do have Italian and German dictionaries here, but they're modern. I collect all dictionaries. I don't want to lose any language. I've even just come back from Reykjavik a few weeks ago, and I've got Icelandic dictionaries, but I'm going to do a different post on this because this is something else, which is very funny that somebody happened to ask. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah, if you are a foreign language, sorry, if you speak a foreign language, I happen to have a dictionary pre-1900, it would be very interesting to see what definition of psychology is in your dictionary.